Hi there. Good evening. Welcome to COSI. How are we doing tonight? All right, terrific. I'm David Chesebrough, President and CEO here at COSI, and it's really a pleasure to have you and welcome you here. David Berman has appeared in over 140 episodes of CSI, working as a researcher and as an actor. Appearing as the assistant coroner, David Phillips. In addition to CSI, he has worked as a researcher on half a dozen television shows, including CSI Miami. I guess they trade between the different franchises. Traveler, Profiler, and he's performed in programs such as Heroes, Profiler, and Vantage, all very recognizable names. Now, John Wellner began working as a researcher on CSI in 2004 and has appeared in 22 episodes as toxicologist Henry Andrews. He's also appeared on TV shows including Becker, Gilmore Girls, Judging Amy, NCIS, and King of Queens, and numerous movies, including most recently Evans Almighty with Steve Carell and Ocean's 13. So tonight, David and John are going to detail for you the exciting process of how each episode of CSI is created. So now, please join me in welcoming to the stage David Berman and John Wellner.
I play Assistant Coroner David Phillips. I've also been the head researcher on CSI for about 9 years, since the show's creation back in 2000.
I am John Wellner, and I play Gil Grissom on the show. It's the glasses, it's just I look different in person. Actually, I play toxicologist Henry Andrews, and I've been researching on the show, as David mentioned, for 5 years now.
Before we get started, we just want to thank COSI, Carly and David, and all the wonderful staff that invited us here this evening. So thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to be here. My family's actually from Columbus, and I haven't been here in quite some time. So I'm a Buckeye through and through, and I'm so thrilled to be back in Columbus. John and I had the opportunity to visit the exhibit in Chicago last year, and we were blown away. We hope that you enjoyed it as much as we did. So our position on CSI is quite unique in that John and I get a dual perspective on the process of creating a scripted television show by working both behind the camera and in front of it.
CSI is written. So CSI employs 10 full-time writers and several other freelance writers. And essentially, they're in a chain car. And they listen to those ideas, and once they...
In the last episode, Warwick was shot at the scene in the way he did act next year.
Well, you're going to have to stay tuned to find out. I want you to watch. Our viewership is down. If I tell you, maybe you wouldn't watch.
It's a long summer. Yeah, find out in September something.
Hi, I would like to know if your crimes that are committed on the TV show first are taken from reality, or if you see them actually copying in reality.
We get a lot of questions. First, yes, a lot of the stories, the actual crimes are written from the headlines. And answer to your second question, we get that often as a criticism of the show, that it is informing criminals. There's no evidence to back that up, and I often say that, and I've heard that criminals are pretty dumb for the most part. A great story that illustrates that, we have a gentleman who works in Hawaii, and he called John and I one day all excited because a detective friend of his brought in a suspect who they were pretty sure had robbed this woman's home, but they didn't have any hard evidence. They just, circumstantial evidence led them to believe that he had committed the crime. So they had this guy in interrogation, and they said, at first question, they said, well, so do you watch CSI? He said, yeah. I said, well, we have evidence that you did it. You breathed in the room, and we were able to get that breath and analyze your DNA. We know you were there. Totally not. So if you just confess now, it will go a lot easier on you. And he confessed. So I think for every story of a criminal learning something, there's a story like that. Also, for some of the more sensitive information for bomb construction, we did an episode in which a bottle of water was poisoned. We intentionally give wrong information. We had an episode, especially an episode of poisoning bottles of water. The way we described it in the show is like 30% inaccurate, just in case there was somebody who was, sadistic enough to copy us.